Good morning, dear students. How do you do? Hope you are all fit and fine. In our previous physics session, we were discussing about the lesson magnetic effects of electric current. In that lesson, many interesting topics and concepts we discussed. Isn't it, children? Using the concepts, the one important device is formulated, that is an electric motor, that we are going to deal with in today's class. Shall we start? You have seen, children, the various range of the sizes of motors. You might be using those motors for the projects, science projects or science the modeling. You may be using that. Small motors are there, and also big motors are there. In variety of range of sizes it is available. The motors are available in range of sizes. Isn't it, children? So, how does the electric motor works, children? And what is the basic principle of an electric motor? And where do we use electric motor? And what is the principle behind it? That is very important to know about it, isn't it? So let us go for it now itself. Basic principle of an electric motor. What is the basic principle of an electric motor? A current carrying conductor in a magnetic field experiences a force. Did we come across this point in the last classes? Indeed, we came across, children. And the activity, force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field using aluminum rod and horseshoe magnet. We studied about it, isn't it? What is the basic principle behind electric motor? A current carrying conductor in a magnetic field experiences a mechanical force, children, or force, simply force also. It experiences mechanical force whenever a current carrying conductor placed in the magnetic field experiences a force. Based on this principle, the electric motor works. Where it is used, these motors we are using? In toys. Some toys are there which work under motors. Fans, obviously. In fans, motors are there. Washing machines and mixers, grinders, in all these devices, electric devices or electric equipments, we use motors of various sizes, children. Remember, various sizes. We use motors in these devices like toys, fans, washing machines, mixers and grinders. What I told you? What is the basic principle behind an electric motor? A current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field experiences a force. This factor was first observed by Michael Faraday in 1821. In 1821, Michael Faraday observed this factor that a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field experiences a force. Using that principle, the motor is formulated. Then what is a motor, children? How we can say that, how we can understand a motor? A motor converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. Observe, children, when you switch on a fan, what happens? The fan begins to run, begins to rotate, isn't it? What happened there? When we switch on, As and when we switch on the fan, we are supplying current. So, conductor kept in the placed in the magnetic field. Magnet will be there. Magnetic field experiences a mechanical force in the form of rotation. The blades will move. The blades of the fan will begin to move. So, we can understand that what is a motor then? A motor is a device which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. And about the working of this electric motor, let us try to study about the working of electric motor. Now, how does it work? What are the parts of an electric motor? Let us go in detail with that. Okay? Children, when I turn on this switch, the electric current begins to pass through, and you can see that the fan begins to spin. How this fan can spin? This is because there is a device known as motor inside the fan that makes it spin. Children, what made the fan to spin? It is because, as I told you, there is a device called motor. What is a motor? Motor is a device which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. What is the scheme of representation of an electric motor? How it will be? What are the parts of an electric motor? Let us know more about it. As you can see in the picture here, it is a schematic representation of an electric motor, children. As I told you already, it is based on the principle that the current carrying conductor placed in the magnetic field experiences mechanical force. It is based on that principle. Am I right? Yes. So, we have to consider the poles of the magnet, right? Magnetic field is necessary there. So, we are considering the two poles N and S of permanent magnets we can take. And there must be a conducting coil, right? Yes, here N and S are the poles of a magnet. And here you can see, instead of a straight wire, we studied about straight wire, right? But here we are considering a copper coil or a wire in the shape of rectangle. That is known as rectangular copper coil. That is ABCD. ABCD is a rectangular copper coil. N and S are the poles of a magnet. And where it is placed, this copper coil? Copper coil is placed between the two poles of the magnet. You can observe here the copper coil ABCD is placed in between the magnets, that is poles of the magnets. And it produces magnetic field, right? So, our copper coil is ready in between the magnetic field. How it is placed? Here you can see AB and CD are the arms. AB and CD are perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field. What is the direction of magnetic field, children? While studying about the field lines in a bar magnet, we studied that the field lines emerge from North Pole and merge at South Pole. Am I right? Yes. They emerge from North Pole and merge at South Pole. So the direction will be this one, children. You observe as I have drawn using pencil. This is the direction of the magnetic field. So then what will be the direction of the perpendicular, that is the rectangular coil? That will be always perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field. So you can observe here, this is perpendicular. This is the direction of the magnetic field. The This is the copper coil, the arms of the copper coil. AB and CD are the arms. They are perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field. The ends of the coil, this is now coil, right? These ends of the coil are connected to ends. Here one end, here another end. They are connected to the two halves of a copper ring. Ring is there, copper ring. Copper ring will be like that. This like this. Copper ring it is. It is, you can see it is a copper ring. If it is, consider that it is a copper ring. If it is split in the middle, like this, this becomes one portion of the copper coil. This becomes another portion, children. So, this is the full copper ring is split in the middle, and that is fixed to the ends of this rectangular coil. These rings are known as split rings, because the full ring is split into two parts. The inner side of these halves are there. Inner side, these are connected to, attached to an axle. They are insulated. They are soldered into an axle. This is an axle, children. This is axle. This pipe like you can see. Inside it, these two are soldered into it. It is attached. It should not be free, no. So it should be attached into an axle. This is an axle here. You can observe, children, this blue colored axle. This is purple colored, that is a axle. The external conducting edges, that is the ends of these external edges are there, no, of these split rings. If it is like this, one portion, let us think this is one portion of the split ring. This outer edge is there, no, this outer edge is connected to the brushes, that is conducting brushes, carbon brushes. Here in pink colored, there are two brushes outside, children. You can observe here. They are named as X and Y, pink colored. These two are carbon brushes. And these two carbon brushes are not actually attached to the split rings. They simply come in contact with that. That's all. Stationary brushes. Remember, X and Y are stationary brushes. They are connected to the conducting wires outside to the battery and a switch. As we have seen, when we turn on the switch of the fan begins to rotate, isn't it? For that, what is needed? The passing of current is needed. For that, we are using battery and a switch. So, these two X and Y. What are X and Y? They are carbon brushes. Carbon, in the sense, it is a graphite. Graphite, as you know, is a good conductor of electricity. So, to make the current to pass through the circuit, we are using two brushes, carbon brushes. They are stationary, children. These two carbon brushes are connected to the connecting wires, simple wires, to switch and a battery. This is the schematic representation of an electric motor, children. Okay, how it works, that is important now. See, as we know from the terminal of the battery, that is, in the battery, the current conventionally flows from positive terminal to negative terminal. Am I right? In the beginning, it starts flowing from positive terminal, makes contact with the X and flows through ABCD, and then comes to negative terminal, right? So, it comes in contact with Y. So, conducting brushes X and flows back to the battery through brush Y. Notice that the current in arm AB of the coil flows from A to B. The current is flowing from A to B, right? Observe here, as and when current starts flowing, when switch is turned on, the current starts flowing from positive terminal. Starts here, arrow mark is here also arrow mark, here also and starts flowing in this direction, children. Here arrow mark is there. This is the direction of the current. Here AB direction. Am I right? AB direction. A to B. That is AB direction. In the arm CD, it comes back like this. Flows through like this in the opposite direction. CD direction. C to D. A to B. C to D. That is opposite to the direction of the current through arm AB. So, how we can now understand the direction of the mechanical force experienced by this copper coil. How it experienced, children? Here, what actually happens here? As and when the switch is turned on, current starts flowing, and this copper coil begins to rotate in between these two magnetic poles. Begins to rotate, children. As we can understand that by knowing about the direction in which how it flows, children. That we have to understand here. Here observe the current is flowing in this direction A to B, I told, and in this one, in this arm C to D. As and when current flows, half rotation it can make, children. It turns. It may turn like this. But how we can understand in which direction it turns? Something we cannot tell, isn't it? How we can understand in which direction it is turning? By using Fleming's left-hand rule, which we came across already in our previous classes. Left-hand rule. When we stretch our left hand such that the three fingers of our left hand, such that forefinger indicates the direction of the magnetic field, middle finger indicates the direction of the current, and then the thumb indicates the direction of the mechanical force experienced by the conductor, children. In that way, we should understand this. Otherwise, we can't tell this, isn't it? How we can say this now? Now, let us know how the current is flowing through this. Let us see now. Okay. Now, how to apply the Fleming's left-hand rule? Left-hand rule, I told you already, you can hold anywhere but three fingers perpendicular to each other. The three fingers of our left hand, forefinger, middle finger and the thumb are stretched in such a way that they are perpendicular to each other. Then the forefinger indicates magnetic field, middle finger indicates the direction of the current, and the thumb indicates the direction of the mechanical force experienced by the conductor. Now, always we know that the magnetic field lines are aligned from North Pole to South Pole. Merge from North Pole and merge at South Pole. So, I have to take in this direction only magnetic field always. I cannot take like this. North here, no, I have taken. If it is north here, I can take. But here it is north here, so I can take this finger. I am telling only. In this way I can take. Or in this way also I can take. Anyway. Isn't it? Anyway I can arrange, but they must be perpendicular to each other. Now, I have to apply. What I can change is current direction I can change, children. This I cannot change because it is not easy to change the poles of a magnet in between. So, what we can do? We can change the direction of the current. Let us know more about it. Now see, children, I have to apply the Fleming's left-hand rule to this arm AB. So, I have to hold like this, children. Isn't it? I have to hold the finger like this. You can observe here, this is a forefinger, middle finger, and the thumb is down here. You can see thumb here downwards. Now what happens? According to Fleming's left-hand rule, how we can know about it? We find that the force acting on arm AB, what happens? AB, now let me tell you. Now hold like this, children, your fingers, so that they are perpendicular to each other like this. Here downwards, here rightwards, here upwards. So what happened now? You observe, children, here. This is the direction of the magnetic field. Am I right? You can observe here magnetic field north to south. Correct? This is showing the direction of the magnetic field. We are right. Then here there is the direction of the current. Here observe, children, arrow mark is this way. So this is right. And what is the direction of mechanical force experienced by the conductor, children? It is downwards. You can observe here it is downwards. So in this situation, the current flowing from A to B and the magnetic field north to south will push the arm AB downwards. Arm AB downwards. You can understand here clearly. Downwards. And what about this CD here now? This CD here, the direction of the current changed, children. You observe here now. You observe here, I have to take the fingers like this now. Otherwise, I can't. Here observe, children, this is the north to south direction. I am applying Fleming's left hand rule for CD, arm CD now. This is magnetic field, correct, no, N to S. And this is the direction this way. You can observe here arrow mark this way towards me, isn't it? So it is in this direction. What is the direction of the mechanical force then? Thumb indicates direction of mechanical force. Indeed, you know that the thumb indicates the direction of the mechanical force. That is which direction? Upward direction. So what happened now? The AB pushed downwards and CD pushed upwards in the first half rotation. What happens now? Thus the coil and the axle O, mounted free to move, turn about on axis, rotate anti-clockwise, children. What happened? AB downwards, CD upwards, so anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise, you can understand from right to left. It is from right to left like that. So that is anti-clockwise direction. At half rotation, this happened. How I can understand this? Here I used in this way. Here I used the law in this way, children, isn't it? In this way I used the law here. Downwards, force. Here I have to use in this direction. Or you can use in this direction also. In this way also you can hold. This is the direction of the magnetic field. Current downwards. On the arm CD I am talking now. This is the direction of the upward direction. That is a force experienced by the conductor. So it is upwards. CD is upwards. How I can understand this? See, children, this is our now. Consider that this is a rectangular coil. What happened now? How I can show this? Now this you can see that it is having the rectangle shape. Here you can see it is a book. Consider that this is our now rectangular coil. What I have to do? What happened in the first half rotation? This is, consider that this is AB. This is CD. This side is a CD. This arm is CD. What happened? This is downwards. This is upwards. Like this it is moved. You can observe, children, it is rotating in this way. It is rotating in this way. So what happened? This is a CD now. CD moving from right to left. CD, the arm CD going upwards and the arm AB going downwards in this way. This is going downwards, so it is starting like this. Like this you can see, children. So in this way, in anti-clockwise, it rotates. At half rotation, one half rotation over now. what happened now? Q makes contact with here. What happened, children, now? Only this axle and the split rings rotated now along with this. This is known as armature, children. Remember, this is known as ABCD is also known as armature. It is known as armature. It is known as armature. ABCD armature along with that split rings and axle. These split rings are connected to this axle and these split rings are connected to ends of the wire, isn't it? Copper coil. So what happened? This is stationary brushes. When this turns here, CD upwards, what happened? Now what happened? The Q makes contact with brush X now. This is Q, children. Split ring. This moves this side. And this P split ring moves to this side. At half rotation, what happened? The split ring Q makes contact with the X and split ring P makes contact with the Y. Therefore, the current in the coil gets reversed and flows along the path. Now what happened? DCB. It started flowing reverse now. Why? Here we changed the direction of the split rings contact. So what happened? In the next half rotation, the current starts flowing in the reverse direction along this DC, D to C, B to A. In the next half rotation, at half rotation. So here this is very important device which reverses the direction of the current. That device is known as commutator. That is known as, so split rings are known as commutators, children. Split rings are known as commutators. What are commutators? Commutators. What are commutators? Commutators are the devices which reverses the direction of the current. Split rings are known as commutators in this case, in the motors. They are commutators because a device that reverses the direction of flow of current through a circuit is called commutator. So here split rings act as commutators. The reversal of current. Now the current is reversed, children. What happened? Started from here now. It flows from this direction to Y and then to X. That means DC, D to C, B to A. And then this side. X and then comes to this side. So the reversal of current also reverses the direction of force acting on the two arms ABCD. Again we have to use the rule. Which rule? Fleming's left hand rule again. Here upward direction. In the upward direction it started now. In the next half rotation you can see what happened? Upward direction current flowing. Now this is what happened here now? The current is flowing in this direction. But what happened now? Here you can see this is the north, that is north to south magnetic field. Current is flowing in this direction. So what happened? Now this should be downwards. Mechanical force downwards, children. Here you can observe CD. This is the direction of the current. Current here CD along this direction. I am talking about next half rotation now. Isn't it? So in this direction means this is the current. Current in this direction. This is magnetic field. This is the direction of the current. And so this is the direction of the mechanical force. In the first half rotation, the CD was pushed upwards. In the next half rotation, CD pushed downwards. This shows the direction here, children, downwards. And now here AB we have to apply. Now what happened? And here now it is downwards. In the next half rotation, the current is downwards, children. Downwards. How we can use this downwards? So what happened now? Here in this direction when I keep this on this AB, This is magnetic field. Current downwards now. Observe here. Downwards current. What is the direction of the mechanical force? Upwards. So, in the first half rotation, AB was pushed downwards. Now it came upwards in the next half rotation. Thus, it completes one complete rotation. In every half rotation, the current changes its direction. The reversing of the current is repeated at each half rotation. At each half rotation, the reversal of current takes place because of the split rings. Split rings are known as commutators because commutators are the devices which reverses the direction of flow of current through a circuit. So what happened now? This way you can hold. From B to A, current is flowing B to A, N to S, then the force will be down to up. You can observe, children, here. So in the first half rotation, AB pushed downwards, now pushed upwards. So AB pushed upwards, CD goes downwards. So it completes one rotation. At every half rotation, there will be reversal of current. Because of that, the force also reverses. The reversing of current is repeated at each half rotation, giving rise to continuous rotation of the coil and the axle. Axle also rotates with that. I hope you understood the concept behind this electric motor. Isn't it, children? So, first N to S, remember, always current flows from, and current also you have to remember, children. Current also, how it is flowing, you must know about it. Direction in this way. Here you can observe, this is the direction of the magnetic field. In the first time telling, along AB, along the arm AB, this is the direction of the current. In the first half rotation I am telling, this is the direction of the magnetic field from north to south. You can observe north to south. What is the direction of the mechanical force? Downwards. So what happened? AB goes downwards in the first half rotation. Next, here how we can understand. Here what happened now? This is the direction of the current. In this way you have to hold. You can apply. This is N and S. N to S. North pole to south pole, magnetic field lines. This is the direction of the current, and this is the direction of mechanical force upwards. So CD came upwards, anti-clockwise movement. And next what happened? It moves and goes back again in the next half rotation. At that time what happened here? The split rings have changed their contact. In the beginning, P was in contact with X, split ring P was in contact with brush X, and Q was in contact with brush Y. But in the next half rotation, when it rotates one time, half rotation, split ring P comes in contact with Y, split ring Q comes in contact with X. In that way, we can find out and it makes the continuous rotation of the copper coil, that is rectangular coil. This rectangular coil along with the split rings is known as armature. Whenever this coil begins to move, this split rings also will move because and axle also. This is axle, children. Axle also moves. This cylindrical shaped purple colored, that is axle, in which these two split rings are soldered. It will also move along with this rectangular coil. These split rings and the axle will move. But these two brushes are there, no? These are stationary. They will be in their place only. What is moving? Only this split rings are moving along with this the copper coil. So they change their places and thereby reversing the direction of the current, and thereby keep rotating. Whenever it rotates, spins, the mechanical force is induced there. Mechanical force is observed there. So whenever we switch on, the fan spins. Isn't it, children? So this is the schematic representation of electric motor. Hope you understood, children. Here you have to write, whenever this diagram is very important, whenever this diagram is asked, you have to draw, then you have to mark only with the symbols, and then side by you have to write this. N and S poles of a magnet, ABCD rectangular coil, X and Y carbon brushes, K is a switch, P and Q split copper rings. Hope you understood the concept behind this electric motor. Principle of DC motor by animation. What is the principle behind the motor? When a current carrying conductor placed in the magnetic field experiences mechanical force. That is, you can observe here, children, the current carrying conductor in the middle and the two poles of magnet are kept, and in between that current carrying conductor is there, it experiences force. This is the main principle behind motor. Here you can observe, children, there is an armature as I told you, and two split rings are connected to it, attached to it, and it is soldered to it, and it is kept in between two magnetic poles, south pole and north pole. You can observe these two armature is like that, it is connected to two brushes, and by the connecting wires it is connected to a battery. You can observe, children, and split rings are commutators. Split rings you can observe clearly there, children, and here south pole and north pole are there. How now the current is flowing? Current is flowing from positive terminal to the negative terminal. During that, the magnetic field lines will be emerging from north pole to south pole. So what happened now? North pole to south pole, and the current is flowing from positive terminal to negative terminal. Then you can observe there the current is, the mechanical force is experienced. How we can find out the directions? Forefinger, when we stretch our left hand, forefinger indicating magnetic field, middle finger direction of current, and thumb indicates direction of mechanical force. Now observe, children, from north to south the magnetic field is directed, and the current is from down to up, you can observe. Then the direction of thumb finger indicating the red arrow mark, you can observe, that is mechanical force on the left side of the left side arm. Now let us consider to the right side. The magnetic field from north to south, the current is the yellow arrow mark downwards. During that, towards me, and red arrow mark showing the direction of the mechanical force. Therefore, on the two arms, the current is flowing through them in opposite directions, thereby creating the mechanical force. See, children, here whenever at this position, if the rectangular coil comes, then there will not be, it is in parallel direction to the magnetic field, so there is no current flowing through it. You can observe that there is no current flowing through it. Therefore, there is no current flow in this position of the rectangular coil. When it is like this, there will be maximum current flowing through. At this position of the rectangular coil, there is maximum current flow. You can observe, children, north to south horizontal, and you can observe the rectangular coil is perpendicular to that. During that, maximum current is flowing through the circuit. You can observe, children, on both the arms. Now, after rotation, next what happens when two arms exchange their places? Again, we have to use Fleming's left hand rule to understand that. The forefinger indicating magnetic field, middle finger direction of current, again thumb mechanical force. Now, north to south magnetic field, right? And the current is flowing in which direction? Upward direction on the left arm of the rectangular coil. the current will be, the mechanical force will be in the direction of red arrow mark. You can observe, children. That during that what happened? The arms are exchanged there. You observe, children, as I mentioned, ABCD. In that, CD has come to this side now. AB has come to this side. Here you can observe on the right side, the white arrow mark, anyway, magnetic field, yellow arrow mark, direction of current, downwards, red arrow mark. So what happened? They exchange their places, and thereby reversal of current takes place, and thereby it completes one rotation. The rectangular coil completes rotation. In this way, the rotations are repeated, thereby spinning the any electrical devices like motor present in the fan or the refrigerators, in all those washing machines, in all those, they keep rotating, they keep spinning because of this reason. You can observe there, it is soldered there, observe closely, children, there in the middle, the split rings are soldered into the ends of the rectangular